Next on Worcester News tonight, remembering Ari Schultz, a local baseball player pays tribute to the young boy who was an inspiration to all. Plus, an investigation is underway after a deadly police shooting in Spencer. We'll have the details. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Catherine Andrioli. More on those stories in a minute. We begin tonight with a landmark immigration ruling in Massachusetts today. A ruling by the state's Supreme Judicial Court now says federal agents cannot force court officers to hold people solely based on their immigration status. Attorney General Maura Healey says this decision is a victory for the rule and law of smart immigration and criminal justice policies, and a rejection of anti-immigration policies that have stoked fear in communities across the country. Worcester immigration attorney Randy Feldman says the ruling will no longer allow people to be detained by court personnel for violating immigration laws that are civil in nature.
Whether or not the court personnel could hold somebody if their only problem was that they had violated the immigration laws, which are civil in nature, not criminal. Right? So if somebody's not a criminal and they only have a civil thing that they're not supposed to be here without papers, whether or not the court personnel could hold them. That was the limited thing. But it was such an expansive, broad 7-0 decision, unanimous with 4 Charlie Baker appointees, that it seems that it will also be extended. And for instance, at the Worcester House of Correction, if somebody's done their time, it also is telling the Worcester House of Correction, if immigration comes and gets the person while they're being held there on their criminal matters, you're entitled to do that. ICE is entitled to do that. But if they walk out the door on their criminal matters, ICE is not entitled on the civil violation of being deportable to have the Worcester House of Correction hold them for ICE.
The High Court's ruling is the first of its kind in the United States, the ACLU of Massachusetts said Monday. A local college baseball player is remembering Ari Schultz. The 5-year-old heart transplant recipient passed away Friday after a series of health issues. Schultz became an honorary member of the Assumption Greyhounds baseball team back in November. Tonight, a member of that team is remembering the young boy's legacy. Our Cam Jandro reports.
We love game baseball, and we love him just as much.
After a long battle with a congenital heart defect, Ari Schultz passed away Friday evening. The 5-year-old was diagnosed with critical aortic stenosis before even being born and underwent more than 20 surgeries during his life. Former Assumption College baseball player Mike Cogshell remembers Ari for his great personality.
It was just, you could feel his presence, you know. He was only 5, but he felt like he was on our team, like actually, you know, a college kid, and playing with us day in and day out. Felt like he was there every day.
A lifelong baseball fan, Ari was signed by the Hounds last November as part of Team Impact, an organization connecting ill children with college sports teams. Cogshell says he will always be grateful Ari chose Assumption over other schools.
There's tons of colleges around, 6 in Worcester or something like that. The fact that he chose us was a humbling experience. Just to have him choose us and have him around, it was unbelievable.
Ari spent 189 straight days in the hospital before returning home last month. Friday, his parents took to Facebook to share the news of his passing. Ari will be remembered by thousands across the country, including members of the 2017 Assumption College baseball team.
Bad days come a lot in college, especially in baseball. It's a very up and down game, but when he was around, no matter how you were doing, you know, in the classroom or on the field, it didn't matter when he was around. It was just awesome to have him, an immediate smile on your face.
Now, Ari sadly passed away Friday night while listening to his beloved Boston Red Sox. You can donate and help the family with expenses by visiting their blog at www.echoofhope.org. Catherine?
Thank you, Cam. That's our Cam Jandro reporting. Police are investigating an officer-involved shooting in Spencer over the weekend. The Worcester District Attorney's Office has identified the man killed as 49-year-old Walter Lind of East Brookfield. Investigators say it began with a domestic dispute. Rosalind Flaherty has the details.
Investigators on scene at this house in Spencer Monday morning after an officer-involved shooting.
This doesn't happen here often, or at all. So that's why it's more shocking.
The Worcester County District Attorney's Office says it started as a call for a domestic dispute Sunday night. Officer Brandon Fulham encountered the suspect and tried to stop him, but he sped off. A chase with speeds up to 80 miles per hour followed before ending in this driveway.
A white minivan came like flying past us, and a cop was passing by too with it. We saw it pulled into that driveway.
The DA's office says 49-year-old Walter Lind of East Brookfield was shot and killed by the Spencer police officer. They say Lind pulled this replica gun on the officer.
It was about 8:30 when I was on the porch, and that's all I saw was emergency responders. I'm just about 3 houses down.
The Worcester District Attorney's Office says the suspect was ordered to stop and drop the gun in the driveway behind me. They say the officer fired 1 shot and the man collapsed before reaching the home.
All of a sudden I heard the police coming up the road from far away because you can hear everything up here. It's so quiet. And then I just heard 1 gunshot and that was it.
Shane Sweeney has lived on the road for 3 years and says although the road is very quiet, the incident doesn't surprise him.
Today's society, no, sadly. Maybe 20 years ago it would, but not in today's world.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
Staying in Spencer, a 3-alarm fire destroys a home on Church Street over the weekend. Crews were called to this home around 8 p.m. Saturday. Spencer police say everyone made it out of the building safely. 1 firefighter was treated for heat exhaustion and another for a knee injury. The cause of that fire is under investigation. In Worcester, a man is in serious but stable condition after a shooting in Great Brook Valley. Police say it happened just after 7 o'clock Sunday night. When they arrived on scene, a group of people were surrounding the male victim who had been shot twice in the chest. Police say they do not believe the shooting was random and the suspect and the victim may have known each other.
We know that a car pulled up and a male from the car fired 3 shots at the victim, struck him in the chest. It was chaotic and there were some witnesses. There was a small crowd around the male who was on the ground, and officers went into the crowd and delivered medical aid to the male while they called for the ambulance, which arrived shortly afterward.
And anyone with information on the suspect is asked to call police. An Uxbridge man accused of shooting an autistic man with a BB gun is being held on $10,000 cash bail. 19-year-old Samuel Patterson was arrested over the weekend on a number of charges, including assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. Police say the man shot the BBs at a man who was walking to an Uxbridge donut shop last Wednesday. The man was treated for minor injuries. 2 other juveniles are also expected to face charges in connection with the incident. Black bunting hangs across the Webster Police Department as officers remember one of their own. Detective Cindy Johnson passed away last week after a courageous battle with cancer. Her cruiser is parked in front of the station on Main Street. A memorial has filled in around it with flowers and a wreath. The flags at the Webster Police Department are also still at half staff. Webster police say the quote, "She was without a doubt the toughest person they know." Johnson was 46 years old. After 3 weeks of compromising between the House of Representatives and the Senate, the newly revised marijuana bill is officially in the hands of Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker. Now the governor must decide to sign the bill or send it back to legislators with changes. Our Brittany Schaefer has the details.
A revised marijuana bill is now on Governor Charlie Baker's desk, waiting for his approval. The compromise between the House and Senate versions features many changes.
I think we've tackled a lot of the issues in the compromise, and I think it addresses most issues that should make those of us who were in opposition to this feel comfortable.
The bill calls for a 20% tax on marijuana, which Senator Moore says is the lowest in the country.
The Senate had 12%. The House was at, I think it was 29% or 30%, and we ended up with 20%. So I think it was a fair compromise. It's supposed to bring in $52 million, $50 to $52 million in the first year, and then $102 the second year.
Another major change to the voter-approved ballot question is towns who voted yes will allow voters to decide if marijuana shops should be banned, and towns who voted no, the decision will be up to their selectmen or city councilors to allow recreational marijuana businesses.
Different approach that we've had in the past. We expect that there could be some legal challenges over the constitutionality of it, but it still allows some local control.
I think it's good that it gives the communities the opportunity to be heard.
Webster voters approved question 4 back in November, so it will again be the voters who will decide whether marijuana shops can be located in the town.
As far as Webster itself, I don't know that it's something I would be in favor of, only because we have a fair share of of drug problems here in town.
We have enough problems without a marijuana shop.
As for the bill's future, Senator Moore expects the governor to approve it.
I'm expecting the governor to sign it. I mean, he may send it back with some minor amendments.
Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
A popular Worcester dessert bar officially closes its doors over the weekend. Sweet Kitchen and Bar closed Sunday afternoon, ending a 10-year tenure on Shrewsbury Street. The establishment made the announcement of its closing earlier this month. One of the restaurant's business partners is looking to open up a different location in Worcester to keep the cupcakes here.